Live.
and then the
We are
autopilot,
live.
kind of like a auto steering table at t minus 20 seconds, and at t minus 5.6 seconds, engine ignition happens, and once these 7
So,
V4 engines are
tonight, we
healthy,
have an
good
exciting
working,
launch
and
of
everything is
Blue
super good,
Origin's New
they will
Glenn
release the hold down clamps.
rocket. And
And
what's
thank
special
you,
about
Glenn.
this one is it's their first orbital grade rocket
Yep.
that's ever going to be launched. I mean, this is their first.
Right,
Before
so
this,
one
they
thing-
have only been
one
making
thing
and
I do wanna
launching
point out is,
suborbital
if
rockets,
you are in
only
Florida, and if you are watching
barely
on
scraping the
YouTube,
edge of the
you are
space and then
planning
coming
on
right down
trying to see this in person,
for those
keep
suborbital,
in
like
mind that
basically 4
visibility
minutes
map that
of
we've shown
zero
several
gravity that you
times in
get.
terms of timing,
Those
you're gonna wanna
joyrides,
look east,
right?
and also
This is
use
big.
the most
So
accurate
big that it
clock
trumps
that you
SpaceX
have.
Falcon
If you have
9.
a
This is a
smartwatch,
direct
often
competitor to
those
Falcon
are,
Heavy,
digitally updated,
and it's
regular
designed to
basis, so
be
that you're gonna have
partially
essentially an
reusable.
atomic
Their
clock on
first
your wrist, so
stage
you know that it's accurate.
is supposed
Same
to
thing
come
with the Falcon
down
clock. Should
just
be
like the Falcon
basically
9s and Falcon
100%
Heavy
accurate.
and
So,
land on a
there
drone
could
ship,
be
which
a
they are
delay,
going to attempt
in
tonight.
in the stream here. We try and
They're
make
going
that
to
delay
catch
as
this.
little
They're going to
as
try to catch
possible,
this with a
but
drone
the
ship.
fact of the matter is, use a real clock.
So
We
much
might
excitement.
pull our T0
And there are
here
live
just to
cameras on the drone ships, so we're
30
going to
seconds
be able to
because
see
we
the
don't
whole
know quite
process,
exactly
no matter what
that delay
happens.
is versus the blue stream and all that stuff. So I just, be
I'm
vigilant.
just
This is all new. We're all
checking. So
learning
we have 2 streams going on here.
together, and
One from
oh my God,
Tim Dow, the Everyday Astronaut, and
Adrian,
one
There's
from NSF.
one thing
NSF.
you learned from today's stream. If you're in
I'm
Florida,
trying to see which one's audio I should bump up
that all
more.
Unless it's a
exerts a
Starship.
force. So, yeah, it's kind of about that.
It's on the
Yeah, meanwhile,
George Funk.
he's answering a lot of
Thank you
questions.
so
This is
much. I know
good.
you
We
probably
are
can't even
at
read
T
what it is on
minus,
screen.
I think,
But George
12
Funk
minutes
is
now.
extremely
Holy
generous and
shit.
has had
It's all right,
51
I figured.
months of membership.
Sorry,
Huge
YouTube.
thank
How are
you.
you feeling,
That
man?
is
you and Harry are like the two
what keeps all this
closest
stuff possible.
followers
So thank you
of-
so
of
much
Blue-
for your ongoing support. Seriously. Oh no.
All
it was
right,
his
I am
birthday on
excited for this.
the
This is going to
11th?
be
I don't know, I didn't
important.
look it up. But that would have been cool to launch on his birthday.
I know, like, no one's
let's see
watching and I
here.
don't care. This is really just to document this whole launch and my
From
reactions and
Fletcherboy.
everything.
In your opinion,
I
which
could-
is better
yeah.
method? SpaceX expect failure and then learn, or NASA Blue Origin approach to mitigate failure before launch? I would say that Blue Origin's a little bit less traditional than like SLS and a little bit less traditional than like Vulcan in the sense of
This is better.
development and stuff like that.
This should be better.
But I like the SpaceX method of just minimum viable product, launch it. If it blows stuff up, who cares? You just sweep it away
There we
and,
go.
and try again. But both of them have their critics. I'll tell you that. You're not getting away from the critics on either side because one.
All right, there we go.
is
There's
like, why is
this
it
is better.
taking so long? You're not doing anything. They can't do anything. All they're doing is blowing up. And both of them are probably going to lead to fantastic vehicles. And frankly, both of them are on kind of similar time frames. New Glenn arguably has been,
right.
in development for longer, but so has, Falcon X before it was BFR, before it was the MCT, before it was Starship, has also been around for a long time, kind of in early stages. Okay, real quick, we better do a very quick pointy end up, flamey end down check. This is the perfect view. I can confirm,
11 minutes left?
even through distant
Okay.
ocular assessment.
Oh, it's so
through
cool. You can
digital
see
pixels,
their
can
like
confirm
official
the point
stream
of
coverage
up
is
and
like
the
so
flamey is
synced
down.
up.
This shot ain't doing it for me though now, so
Oh, just like look at the countdown. They're seconds apart. That's so cool.
painting
So
so much
basically
is
both the
pointing
streams
at
are
flamey
going to
down
be
check. And then they change the camera.
close to being synchronous.
And they change it right in front of me.
This is, yeah, we're looking at
Back to Fletcher Boy.
the body of the rocket right now, and
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think it's
it is pretty big.
frankly
It's pretty big.
both
Okay,
acceptable
so
options,
for my
and,
understanding,
I
the
wish-
upper stage, which we're
like,
looking at, we're
in
looking
my
at the
opinion,
fairings right
I
now.
wish that Blue
These are
Origin
absolutely
would
huge
have tried
fairings.
something a
The
little
diameter,
bit
I think,
faster
the diameter,
sooner. Like I wish that they would have had
yeah,
something
is like 7
5
meters.
years ago.
Some
and
fairings
learned from it and made it
are
better
like
and
7
improved.
meters tall.
And started
This
to get that
has
cadence
a
picked up,
diameter of 7 meters.
Start with a simple,
Huge,
suspendable
absolutely
rocket
huge.
first if you want to learn avionics.
Way bigger
then
than the Falcon 9.
then add to it.
just and way
but
more
they
powerful.
didn't,
Has
and I expect them to
7
do really
sea
well
level
with this
engines
launch.
on the bottom
On the
on
other
the first
hand,
stage, and the
SpaceX, I
first
kind of wish
stage
sometimes they would
they're
not
doing
just
this is a
totally,
Methalox
forego a launch,
setup,
part
and
of
the
your
upper
system
stage they're
and
using helium.
launch on a
I
more
think.
traditional launch pad, and
Wait,
it's and
hydrogen or
et
helium?
cetera,
I
et
forgot.
cetera. And
Is it? Let me
I don't have
do
as
a
high expectations
check.
from SpaceX launches because I'm like, yeah, they're just trying something. Meh, who cares? So it's a blend. It's truly a blend.
Is New Glenn
From Guillerme Trempe, why is the ice on the rocket freezing in a horizontal lines pattern? So I think that just has to
liquefied
do with
natural gas, which is it's
springs
really
on the inside
Methalox,
of
right?
the second stage.
Hydrogen, yeah, it's
Slosh baffles,
it's
just some of the
hydrolox, I think.
features
On the upper stage,
on the second stage.
using
we just
2
see
different
collecting
propellants
ice differently
for
than
both
other
the
parts.
upper and the lower
That's
stage.
just my guess. Thank you so much from Scott Hemphill. I'm missing a lot of very generous support.
Can I share the
Why
stream?
do they start fueling so early? That's just they start fueling.
Yeah, and
about
while I'm
3.5
not talking, you guys can
hours
listen to
before
Tim
T0.
Dot answer some questions.
It's just the way they're doing things for now. We kind of are spoiled by how quickly SpaceX loads and goes their rockets. It is easier, at least from an. Oh no, another delay.
Oh! Are we getting audio from?
All right. Well, again,
It's not
not
ideal for my sleep schedule.
not unexpected. Once again,
It's really not.
awaiting a new
But
T0.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Looks to
and
be
maybe it will too.
227. We'll
But
get
hey, if
confirmation
you
on
have
that. So another
a
20
busy
minute
day.
delay.
I'm
I
starting
don't
to
know
worry
if
about they're
it's
gonna run over
really
the
going
window.
on. Is it a vehicle
You're
issue? Is
still
it a range
up?
issue? Is it
Yeah,
a
maybe consider just
weather
checking
issue?
in the
Is it a
morning or setting
recovery
an
issue?
alarm
Like,
or something.
What if they
Just wake 'em
exceed the
up.
window? That's not gonna be
But
fun.
hey, it's a brand
You
new
don't have to.
rocket,
You
and
don't have to
that's
be aware.
But well, I don't know if they're actively troubleshooting for like a single problem.
Meanwhile,
just kept
if you're
delaying it.
in Europe
Or it's
something,
new
and
things
you're
keep
just now
coming up.
waking
I don't know.
You are able to
Look at
catch
that,
this
the
launch at
root of the rocket, the trunk of the rocket. It's all frosted up.
yeah.
entirely new vehicle. So
So
it's just
again, from Scott, thank you again for the generous donation.
This is tough.
We have lots of time to
I would
answer questions
actually-
now.
I would feel bad. I would feel bad if there's actually anyone watching my
Let's
stream
see, from
and
Jack.
this
Interesting
keeps
question.
getting
Do you think
delayed.
the booster would still
Well,
attempt a landing
this
on
kind of stuff
Falcon
just
if
happens
one
all the
or
time
both of the second
in
stage
launches,
engines
so you
fail
kind of
light
have to
after
expect
stage
it.
separation? I think so. I think hopefully the stage separation device that pushes the stages apart is powerful enough to have plenty of clearance.
Why
But
would
here's
that
the thing,
happen?
the second stage
Sometimes
would
my
fall
camera will just black
very
out for a
close
second.
to, let's say, no engines lit on the
Also,
second stage.
I just got the
It'll
Jetson
basically
Nano
follow the
Super
trajectory of the
board
first stage.
over here,
Again,
if you can
let's
see
listen
it.
and see if we can hear
Yeah,
why.
it's right
Seconds to
here.
go until launch. You may have noticed that we've added some more time to the clock. As we mentioned before, this is just our teams getting aligned, making sure that each of the separate sub-teams have all gone through all of their checklists, make sure that everything is in the green, making sure that the weather here at the Cape and downrange, everything is within bounds. So again, if we need to add a couple more minutes, that is quite all right with us. But while we've got a little bit more time, I would like to check in with my colleague, Eddie Seifert, out there at...
Okay, let's hope
so
it's
they're just gonna talk about
what's
their
happening
view
is
and
that's
the
what they
excited
describe,
crowd there. I hope
that
the
they're
crowd is
only
hanging
just
in
keeping
there
their
because
teams
it's
in
probably
alignment.
cold, and it
Which I
is
don't know if it's
very, very, very late. for those
accurate or
people,
not.
So I do feel bad for them. All right, so where were we? Yeah, so if the upper stage did not light, honestly, in my opinion, there's a very good chance the booster will just continue on as if nothing happened. Like it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's kind of doing its own thing.
They're currently being interviewed.
Yeah.
They're currently being
That'd be
interviewed,
interesting.
the kids, but we don't get audio right now, which is fine.
Let's see here. Let's keep answering your questions. From Jamie wants to know, speaking of the Mark Rover, not Rover launch, is that going to be RTLS, so return to launch site landing, or drone ship? It's going to be an RTLS, which I've never seen at Vandenberg Space Force Base. I've never seen an RTLS out here. And lately the weather's actually been fantastic, so I'm really hoping Tuesday's launch is crystal clear. That would be fantastic. But we will see. We will see. It'd be, yeah.
Oh,
that'd
come
be
on, dude.
ugh, I hope it's clear skies, because we also have a bunch of tracking equipment out here and stuff, and that'd be really fun to see. This is from someone that unfortunately can't read the characters. I just realized that NASA's JPL is affected by the Eaton fire in Los Angeles. Sound can put out fires, but also the Saturn V rocket produced water vapor. If they put rockets onto vehicles, then JPL could firefight. Close. The Saturn V didn't produce water vapor. The space shuttle did, because it ran on hydrogen. So when you have hydrogen as your fuel and oxygen as your oxidizer, when you burn the two, you get H2O. You get water. I would not recommend that as a way to put out fires, though. But yes, my thoughts are with so many people, including a lot of my friends who are affected by the forest fires. It is crazy. It is very scary.
It is crazy. It has been
You
crazy.
see some of the smoke lying within like the Los Angeles area. Very scary, very sad. Terminator 96 with New Glenn and Starship using CH4, so methane and liquid natural gas, same thing. Do you think RP1 vendors are in trouble long term? I don't think we have to worry about the RP1 vendors anytime soon. Falcon 9 is eating up more of that stuff than anyone had ever seen imaginable, and let alone it's easy to intermix between
I'm
RP1
running out of
and jet
cables.
fuel, so you can just refine it a little bit differently and make more jet fuel if you need. I don't see that changing too much.
25 minutes to
Rockets
download the
compared
file
to
that I
jets
need right now.
are launching like 1/38 millionth as much. Like it's not even close. So the amount of, even if these rockets start launching 100 times more a year, it would still not even be a dent compared to the aviation industry. David Fox, thank you so much for your generous chat. Greatly appreciated. Pull tab. I am proud to support a woman-owned company like Blue Origin. I mean, there's probably some women that own parts of it. David Fox, Mark will be in Vandy for his SAT launching on Transporter 12. Will you be hanging out with him, or you'll be watching from? So I will be hanging out with him. He's throwing a party for people that are Crunch Lab supporters and subscribers, and that's what I'm a part of, is part of that event. From Fletcher Boy, Red Bull on me. Thank you so much. Honestly, I should take a break and get some more liquids, and I don't want to take like any kind of energy. I hate energy drinks. They always make me feel terrible. Coffee's strong enough for me, but I hate also drinking that anytime late to stay up, because then I sleep like crap. So just gotta power through. New Elon rocket, is that what you're suggesting? That would be funny.
I do not know what to feel about the delays.
This is from Thalion. SpaceX has been doing this forever now. A successful Falcon 9 launch isn't even newsworthy these days. Correct. Does that mean that no one else should be doing this? Does that mean, okay, they did it, now everyone else stop trying? The Wright brothers, when they first flew a powered aircraft, should everyone else been like, okay, well, they already did it. What's the point of me trying? No, that's horrible. That's like the worst mentality for this kind of stuff. We want as many people trying to push the boundaries and improve upon and compete with each other to make a better system and have options. What if something horrible happens with SpaceX and they decide, we're done building rockets, we're just gonna make cat toys, from now on. You want to have options, and you want competition, and you want variety, and you want new ideas. You want people trying things with slightly different approaches. Yes, this is similar, but it's competition for the first time. It's proper competition to the Falcon 9. So
wait, how come we don't have?
I am absolutely not in line with what you said. Enard's Rasterization, great name, became a member. Thank you so much for your membership. JX Pat says increase your microphone input level. I think we've fixed that now. I think
why do we not get a footage?
Mixed, but you guys let me know if not. People saying pre-recorded stream. No, this is not pre-recorded. I don't do that. If you're watching the Everyday Astronaut channel, yeah, it's crazy to me that people still haven't quite figured out, like, there's a ton of scams for any new thing like this, like New Glenn. When SpaceX streams, there's all these scams, and they have a QR code on the screen. If you see a QR code on screen during the stream, it is Obviously a scam right there. But it just sucks because it's spreading misinformation. People will be like, "Oh, I thought that one blew up." It's like, no, that was a mission from 2 years ago. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Philip Moyer for Tim's private jet fund, so I can see all these launches in person. Thank you. I mean, I don't want a private jet. I want like a Columbia 400 or a Cessna TTX. That would be plenty of plane to get across the country. Hang on, we'll get a little update.
As Denise has talked about, all the propellants are nice and chilled down. You saw the big, beautiful Blue Origin word mark and feather on that rocket. She is looking beautiful. But we do have a little bit more time here. Why don't we take a moment to talk about the BE4 engines. We're looking at the vehicle right now. At the base of the vehicle, oh, that's a pretty shot right there. You see the 7 nozzles of the 7 BE4 engines. You want to tell us a little bit more, Denise?
Yeah, so New Glenn is powered by 7 BE4 engines. Now, these are the nation's first reusable, oxidizer-rich stage combustion booster engines. They use liquid oxygen and liquefied natural gas, or LNG, which is essentially a commercial form of methane.
Yeah, and we selected LNG because it's cleaner burning and more efficient than kerosene, or also known as RP1, rocket propellant 1. That's what a lot of rockets use. It's also low cost and widely available, which is really important when you're doing lots of launches, which is our intention for this New Glenn program. I should also note that we have done a ton of testing on the BE4 engine, and we also want to keep those costs down as well. All of it adds up, right? And one of the coolest aspects, though, about LNG is that it can self-pressurize its tank through a process known as autogenous repressurization, right? So this eliminates the need for costly and complex systems that use helium, which is pretty rare. So normally you got helium and other gases in there to push the pressures properly through the engines to get them ready to go. But with LNG, it basically does it on its own. That's what that means.
It's so fascinating. And, you know, in terms of power, each BE4 engine generates an impressive 550,000 pounds of thrust. So when you combine all 7 engines, New Glenn produces about 3.85 million pounds of thrust at launch. And just to put that into perspective, that's roughly half the thrust of a Saturn V rocket, which took humans to the moon. Imagine that power of 200.737 airplane engines all firing at once. That's what we're looking at here.
And that is a ton of power. You see that these images here, this video, this is from our test facility down in West Texas.
That's an engine test.
Man, oh man, I have been down there actually for one of these tests, and our facility down in West Texas is in this valley, and it just reverberates. You feel like you're in the inside of a drum. It just shakes the entire valley, and I mean, it's just incredible. And we're putting 7 of those at the base of this vehicle. The other thing you should see in that video there is that it burns this really cool blue color. So that's a nut. I'm not saying that's why we chose this propellant, but it's a nice little bonus to it.
It sure is.
So a lot of power coming out of these engines, but then also a lot of interesting technology that's gone into the turbo pumps too. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
They sure are. So the turbo pumps, which pump fuel and oxygen, are also incredibly powerful. Together, they produce the equivalent amount of horsepower needed to power 2 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers at full speed. Yet each turbopump is small enough to fit in the back seat of your car.
Think about that. I mean, the comparison is crazy, but just think about that efficiency that goes into that turbo machinery.
Oh, we're looking at the engines.
Then you also see here, obviously, the comparison between our BE4 engine. So there are 7 of those on the base of the vehicle, and our BE3U, 3 upper stage engines. Engines are 2 of those. A little bit more here. You see the comparison of the BE4 to the BE3U. You also have a comparison of the power of it as well. You know, it's both of these
the first
engines
one is
are
more powerful.
highly sophisticated
The first
and
one,
have
the sea
unique
level one, despite having
functionality
a
built
smaller nozzle.
for New Glenn
The
itself.
second one's for firing in
So
vacuum.
for BE4,
so it has a
as
larger
we
nozzle
noted,
for
we've got 7 of these engines.
efficiency.
In total at the booster, we saw a cool image of that a second ago. The 3 middle engines are gimbaling engines that can pivot to help
Right.
steer the
Only
rocket. So
3
that will
of
be
those
working, of
7
course, in
gimbals.
conjunction
That's a cool
with
shot.
the fins at the
bottom.
top of the booster.
Is it only black and white?
Now,
Is it
those
only
3 middle
monochrome?
engines are going to relight to help with deceleration and landing burns. And the other 4 engines are fixed. And this is the combination that gives us both the power that we need, but also the flexibility we need for different stages of flight.
Wait, is that?
And you know the
Ice just
BE4
broke off
engines are produced at our
wonder if
manufacturing
that is- is that-
facility in Huntsville,
is that like a
Alabama, and
thermal
they're
thing?
tested
A thermal
rigorously
camera?
at our facilities both in West
Or not?
Texas and
Probably
Huntsville
not.
to ensure they meet the high standards.
IR? I don't
Yeah, and
know.
we should note there are 7 of
Like an
these
IR
on.
thing?
But our friends at ULA with their Vulcan rocket, they use 2 of these engines. And those have already flown successfully to space. So we are very proud of that these engines have already flown to space, and can't wait to see them power this New Glenn rocket
I'm
as
not sure
well.
how to make it
They are
stay
going to be
on
rattling
the
this
GoPro.
this building very, very shortly. Well, with that, at T-minus 35 minutes to go until launch, let's toss it back to the rocket and check out New Glenn as this vehicle gets ready for
There's
its
another
launch straight.
delay.
Yeah.
It just happened now. Awaiting new T0.
Did push back again.
Oh my god.
It
Are
did
we-
push back again.
Are we gonna make this window? This is the
Alrighty.
4th
Well,
delay.
Let's fill some time together.
Are we gonna, dude? I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
something else, dude.
I half expect
My
this.
Mac
so,
or
like I said, I
something.
mean, having been to SLS, all 4 launch attempts of SLS, and having been to many launch attempts of first rockets like Starship
I'm trying to get this
and
Jetson board
Firefly's
to work.
Alpha
you know?
rocket. I mean, I expect this. I expect delays. I'm not that shocked. Like I said, there is a 3-hour launch window. We are 1 hour and 15 minutes into that 3-hour launch window. So we're almost halfway through the potential. Once they get to, they'll be over.
Stream is fine.
Yeah, they'll
Stream is
have used
fine.
up like
I'm
over
reading
half
here
their
that it's
time at this T0. So we'll see. We will see. Meanwhile, there's a lot of questions and one very funny and very, I think, very generous super chat from Sean. I don't even want to push it on screen, but Sean saying forget coffee or Red Bull, and then talks about an illicit drug that I'm not going to put on screen because there might be children. Thank you so much for your generous support. My favorite drug to stay awake is called
Water.
Water. I think that water is the
I mean,
perfect
yeah,
hydration
that's
solution.
what I'm sipping on right
And
now.
hydration is 99% of life's problems because we are 99% water. No, we're not.
99%.
We are a lot of water, though. So it's important to stay hydrated. Don't forget your towel. Okay, let's keep going here. Where were we? Oh, man.
Trying to
I'm
get this
very far behind. I
Jetson
have to
or
answer
Nano
quicker.
board to work, but
I really like this comment for some reason. Stig Fries. I'm adding nothing to the conversation.
so
and I'm
far
not being
I've tried to
constructive.
flash my SD card and put it on the computer, but
Perfect. I love that.
it just doesn't work.
Thank you so much. Reality
It has
Anchor.
not
Why are New Glenn
successfully
and Falcon
booted up
heavy,
yet.
So comparable if New Glenn is bigger.
The thing is, it only has a display port.
So
It only has a
here's the
display
deal.
port.
New Glenn, one of the reasons
not-
that it's so much larger is the upper stage is hydrogen. Hydrogen is extremely undense. It's very sparse. It takes up a lot of volume, so it's not as dense as
Listen
liquid
in for a
methane,
second.
or in the case of Falcon Heavy, it's not nearly as dense as RP1. So the upper stage is just physically large, despite not necessarily being as heavy. So although this rocket is closer in scale to, well, then also on top of that, methane is not as dense as RP1. So methane already will make a rocket of similar performance need to be larger. It has to carry, have larger tanks to carry the same mass of propellant.
Right. So the little Jetson or Nano board, it does not have an HDMI out. It has 4 USB-A ports, a display port, power jack. The Ethernet port, I don't think you need the Ethernet port. I don't think the Ethernet port needs to be populated and plugged in order for this to boot up correctly on a USB-C port. I'm not sure if that could be used for PD powering, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. And I do plan to purchase a large NVMe drive just so we can, and to boot from it once we get our SD card image to work, so we can increase our speed. That seems to be some interesting rig. Internet struggling. Ain't nothing we can do about it. That is just pain.
Blablick, thank you for becoming a patron.
Oh no, we're streaming at 4K, aren't we? 1080? Is it 1080 only stream?
Member. Compacted.
Nice.
Asking when hop. Thank you for that. It's
That is crazy. Oh, we're streaming at 60 FPS as well. Huh.
it's me, the Ghost. Interesting name.
Okay. Wait the fuck? We've been streaming for 26. What the fuck? Okay. I thought the stream ended or something. I thought I got interrupted.
Any patches for the new Glen launches? I would be really nice. It's kind of hard though. Like we didn't know how much interest there would be.
I'm not sure that the time is wrong. Anyways.
If you would even want a patch, I mean, I would want a new Glen patch. That's for sure.
Up until a few months ago, it would have been an Escapade patch that we would have done.
Very high specific impulse because they have such
I'm so tired.
heavy
I'm
elements
probably
that
gonna
make
prepare
them
for
up. They
bed
have,
soon.
basically like a
If we
rubber
don't get
compound.
any
that
action.
holds
If
them
it gets
together. They have
pushed back
aluminum, tons of
again,
aluminum. The
I really-
heavier your molecules that you're trying to throw, the slower that the same amount of force throwing them will have them shooting out. So that's specific impulse.
I don't know why it's flickering
is
like
literally
this.
just
This is
exhaust
bad.
gas velocity.
It keeps happening
Period.
though.
They're the same thing. They're
Could
the
be
exact
because the
same.
cable,
Specific
because
impulse is
my
just,
Atom
you can take
Ninja
specific
5
impulse times
appears to be
9.8, so that's
performing
our
fine.
local
Look at the
gravity.
frames. It's the flame stack.
And you get to your exhaust gas
That
velocity.
appears to be
which,
right next to the
let's say you
tower.
have 300 seconds of specific impulse. It'd be, close to, it'd be like 9,000 or 2,900 whatever meters per second of exhaust gas velocity. So, so they're poor specific impulse, and they're stupid. But you can't turn them off. They don't have. They're just not good anymore. They're not as good. You really are limited to even to internal pressures. A liquid propellant, liquid fueled rocket engine, you can really get a lot of pressure, and therefore you can have a high expansion ratio. You can get a higher specific impulse. You can accelerate that gas up to a very high velocity, that exhaust gas to a high velocity, and make for a more efficient engine. Would die says, so I wouldn't consider a Blue Origin to launch when it doesn't suit my schedule. Shake my head. I mean, to be honest, I feel that right now.
Look at the clamp.
But yeah, it has nothing to do with time of day. It's all about whenever works, and whatever worked for
I know it doesn't
arranging it with the range,
matter,
and the FAA,
but
and
aesthetics
weather,
is
and all the
part of, I
considerations
guess.
that go into
Shall we do
a
some
rocket launch,
homework?
especially
I don't
an inaugural
Maybe,
rocket
but I'm
launch.
too tired for that.
Let's see.
What shall we do on stream? Also, we should like try to hide those or something. I don't know.
From Tiberius, unrelated, but considering the fact that Super Heavy is no longer using the grid fins as their catch hardpoint, can't they just fold down the fins to prevent damage from hot staging? I don't really think they're receiving much damage from hot
I
staging.
don't know. I'll just wait for the Jetson
And they
pack,
don't want to
jetpack to
fold them down
download.
either, because that's a heavy mechanism. They don't have a folding mechanism on the grid fins because it's extra weight and complexity. So I really don't think, yeah, I don't think they need to. It's from Sean McPherson. I think that you are going to be invited to one of the flies to the moon. I was once, and that's not happening anymore. So I'm going to be pretty leery of any future promises.
We've been adding some time to the clock. This is to allow our teams to go through their checklists. Keep in mind there are multiple sub-teams that are up there in launch and mission control. We want to make sure that everything is ready to go, and if some of those items on the checklist take a little bit of extra time, we're going to do so, especially since it is NG1. We want to make sure that everybody is prepared and everything is aligned. We should also mention, again, we have to keep our eyes on the weather, both here and downrange. So with that, let's continue to check out New Glenn on the pad as this rocket and our teams get ready for NG1.
Hold on a second. I'll get it reconnected.
Okay, guys, let's keep all limbs, fingers, appendages crossed, because I really hope this thing takes off tonight. Yeah, it would be just fantastic for me, and hopefully fantastic for the folks at Blue.
There we go.
Speaking of folks at Blue, this is awesome to hear from Space Gardener. Thanks for being a positive figure in our industry, Tim. Tonight is extremely exciting for me, having worked on this for many years. I really hope it goes well and we can join the space race.
We have someone that worked on this.
I think it will go well, and I really hope you can join the space race. I mean, you're just literally at the doorstep here of entering the space race. So I would say, yeah, you're doing great. I can't wait to see this thing fly either, having been up close and personal, having touched the booster, touched some hardware. Really cool to see. I can't wait. And maybe...
Right, and how cool is that Tim Dunn has personally visited the rocket factory at Blue Origin?
We'll invite you guys out to the
had
Astro Awards
up-close
next year.
encounters with the
Speaking of
rocket,
Astro
and
Awards, we
as
haven't
well
talked
as
about
some
this
test
much,
articles and
but guess what?
parts and stuff, and the
The
machines.
Astro Awards. Coming up here in 12... Oh my god, I just
So
had
cool.
to
12
just about
days.
crap my pants.
Well, the visuals are so
Oh
cool.
my god, we're
And the
12
tour
days
was
away.
guided by none other than
Anyway,
Jeff Bezos
12
himself.
days from now, in Austin, Texas, January 25th and 26th, we are throwing our second in-person live award show, but it's so much more than an award show. Here's the deal. This is something that started on the channel when it started back in 2018. I decided, hey, we have like awards for cell phones and movies and music.
Let's watch in.
Why don't we have an awards like for the coolest missions of the year? And we're not giving out awards.
To think
this is
about
the
it
decision
yet,
I made back then. We're
but
not
it
giving out
has
awards like anything. But
it's such a different beast, and I'm talking about: are we staying alive until ending?
I mean, yes, I think so.
I think so. Like,
I think so.
This is turning into a production meeting now.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it is. It is Monday.
It is a Monday, Adrian. It's Monday.
You beat me to it. It is Monday.
Yep.
Ryan, are you good for SBU this week?
Yeah. Well, it depends if Starship launches or not. I guess we'll find out.
Oh God, I was joking, but no, that's like actually a real thing.
Oh no.
All right, everything's fine. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Alan, thank you for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Pinchy, that's a Simpsons reference if I ever read one. Pinchy becoming a flight engineer. Thank you, Pinchy. We will never boil you alive and eat you. I said that and paused just so I could see Adrian's face. Y'all can't see Adrian's face, but I could. And it was, let me just say, it was good. Because he does not get the reference. Adrian, we will never boil alive accidentally and then eat Pinchy. We'll never do that.
The funny thing is, I have seen Simpsons, but
Yes.
I just cannot recall right now.
It's the one where Homer gets a lobster. He names it Pinchy.
Oh, Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in German that didn't translate to
All right,
pinchy.
I set the GoPro's
Yeah,
auto
they
off
didn't.
to be never.
Well, now I want to know what
That's
it
why-
translated to.
We kept turning it off and
Zwicky.
making beeping
Zwicky.
sounds.
Oh, that's equally cute. Chris, becoming a Capcom member. Anonymous, grabbing a Flight 7 patch.
Oh, we finally have
Green
it downloaded.
Bean with another super
11
chat. They say, we've been trying to
gigabytes.
reach you about your car's extended warranty. And I don't even know how to pronounce that. Someone mashed their keyboard. And with a $50 super chat. Thank you for that. Brr, where are we at? 20 minutes? Do we
Yeah,
think
it's time
actually
for the weather, Jack.
Do we think it's actually going to keep counting?
Well, at 20 minutes, there's a weather briefing.
Thanks. Okay, we'll do weather.
Should we-
Fine.
Yeah, let's look at the clouds. Let's look at the clouds, Jack. Let's look at the clouds.
Fine.
So you
Show
can
us the
see
clouds.
What do you think I'm doing, Jack? We're getting a bit angsty. We've been up for a long while. You can see this cloud here, which we were tracking across all the way from Tampa across. That was quite a big cloud. That is now completely fizzled out as it's gone over the Atlantic here. You can see it and it's gone.
camera just
However, there
died.
is this kind of band here that's now starting to sweep across Florida, and the leading edge, to use a wing term, I don't do weather, but I am now, of that cloud front is kind of moving across towards the Cape Canaveral area, and we're getting reports it might be getting in the way, which is a little bit annoying. But it does look thinner than the other clouds, than that big cloud there that was quite thick. It looks quite thin, but it is moving towards the Cape. So, yes, cloud, but it is a bit thinner. So maybe that's good. I mean, no clouds would be ideal, but thin clouds might not be that bad. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just very glad that all of this stuff
Dude, I'm
is,
afraid my
is going
static
north
might have killed it.
and not coming towards the east.
You should just preface everything that you do with I don't do blank and then proceed to do blank. That was pretty great. I'm not doing weather, Ryan says as he stands in front of a weather map.
What I meant to say is I'm not like a qualified meteorologist, right?
Don't say
I
that.
don't
People
have
out there don't know that.
I don't have a degree in cloud stuff, right? I'm just looking. This is
You have a
ladies and
you have
gents.
a
This is what
PhD
I'm doing. I'm
in
looking at
cloud
this map.
stuff. You have a
No, I don't, Jack. I'm
You're
looking at this map and I'm going, that cloud is moving that way, and we don't want clouds over that location right there. So any clouds there, bad.
Yep.
Back to you, Jack.
Thanks, Ryan, for
And-
being our certified NSF weatheronometer, weatherologist. There we go.
And just as Ryan has conducted his weather briefing,
Oh, don't tell
Blue
me.
Origin should have also conducted their weather briefing that should have
Hold on.
happened at T-minus 20 minutes, which is so
Is allowing enough
perfectly
time for
lined
the-
up.
Unite all of
Yay.
the talent inside the
Well,
coalition
we're
chamber.
under 20. We're 18 and a half minutes to go.
Thank you so much,
Hopefully,
Isaac.
we
Good work,
get
man.
there
Down from Kenya here. That's awesome.
this time.
Tim Doss,
Fingers crossed. But if
he
we
is
don't, there's
not
still plenty of
playing
time
the
left in
Blue
the window.
Origins
Don't
audio,
fret.
which is
Y'all out
unfortunate. I
there
wanna listen in
watching
a little
in
bit.
Viewerland are troopers. There's still 35,000 people watching. That's remarkable. I'm so glad everyone is as hyped for this as we are, because more heavy lift rockets means we'll be able to send more payload into space, which means more cool stuff, more science, and more. So, yay! Hopefully, under 18 minutes or go. Just, fingers crossed. Let's check in with the field. Who do we got?
We have some.
Do we?
I'm not
oh,
sure. I think they need a moment.
Okay, yeah, let's take a moment for the field to get ready. I do want to see the field camera. I like the BTS camera that we have. In
Yeah,
the meantime, really quickly, Nurse 9Ball, thanks for the super. They say proud title. Josh Schulten asked flare stacks and not recondensers. Pros/cons? I mean...
We're just listening in at this point.
One is simpler than the other. I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer.
I wish I had an answer. I think it's a very good question.
It is.
I wish I had an answer right now. Like,
Yeah. All right, let's check
Maybe
in.
one is simpler than the other, like maybe
we
flare
not
stack.
streaming right now?
Like, okay,
Oh,
I
certainly.
also don't have a PhD
okay,
in
we
GSE.
are. My laptop's
but like
absolutely
flare
laggy.
stack is like big tube with fire on top, burn stuff off. Recondenser seems like really complicated, lots of pipes. Like if I understand it correctly, a recondenser is essentially like a big fridge.
It'll take
Yes.
15
in it.
minutes.
Yes.
15 minutes
It would
to
use
bake
liquid
the
nitrogen
image onto the
to,
SD card that's going to go onto here.
cool, gaseous, or just I assume gaseous, boil off from propellants, and you cool that back down into a liquid. I mean, recondenser. That's what it does. What it says on the tin. It recondenses.
Okay, here is a
Speaking of doing what it says on the tin,
concept render
the field
of
team
the mission.
does a great job of covering the stuff for us and enduring the elements.
What is this?
Do we have D back? Do we have you back?
Yes, I am in fact back, and the excitement is still building here. I
Look at
have
that
to say.
live video.
Yeah. What is the vibe? Like you guys are out there in the cold, I know, and it's pushing continually. But this ain't your first rodeo, right? Like new rocket, 3-hour window. I mean, I
They're watching
imagine
from
you all
afar.
came
That's
prepared.
the launch site. You can see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we
See that?
saw the static fire, took some time, and we've had plenty of other inaugural rockets take their time.
Audio's coming straight
and
from
so
this guy.
whether it goes today or not even saying it, like we're all out here to see this historic launch.
Yeah.
Every change of the T0, there's been a wave of like groans over the whole pier out here. It's a really crowded pier. This is like one of the few areas of the pier that there is standing space. It is shoulder to shoulder. Like you can't get off of this area right now. But the excitement is incredibly.
Uh-oh.
Awesome. That is so exciting. Thank you, D. Also, I think we might have back momentarily Julia, also in the field out there at the Cape. Julia, can we get a vibe check? How are you doing, you poor thing?
This poor thing is bundled up in her blanket in the chair, and the vibe is up and down and up and down, and I just
Okay, guys, remember, if
I really
it
want to
doesn't
see her
count
launch
the launch
tonight,
today,
but now I'm kind
these
of a little
folks actually
overchilled, so
on the field.
I'm very chill.
All right,
it's
well,
gonna be
maybe
more unfortunate
maybe
for them.
crank
I
up
mean,
some
they actually physically
maybe crank
went
up
there,
some
put
more
in the
hand
work.
warmers or
That's their
something.
job.
Please try and stay warm. But
cast the
Oh,
launch.
not
and-
chill in that sense. I'm just kind of chill, as Harry would say, kind of cool like a potato or something like that.
that
versus
does sound
me
like
just
what Harry
sitting
would say.
here,
But
opening
potatoes are
up a
not
web
really
link. That's all.
known for being cool,
That's
right?
all the commitment
Like,
and the time.
Well, the one that Harry is.
A hot potato. I'm a hot potato with the hand warmers, but I do still have a beautiful view of this
I
rocket.
don't believe Tim Dot is letting
those
any of this
clouds-
audio on, so
Well,
First stage,
they
how do you
disappeared, and now I
feel?
see them sneaking back. So I'd prefer this be sooner than later.
13
That would
minutes.
certainly be nice. Hopefully, sooner to the tune of 13 minutes and 30 seconds or so.
don't say the time.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, geez. I'm so sorry. I blew it. Hopefully, I didn't actually blow it, but I might have just blown it. Let's.
Did you just say you blew it?
Wow.
Strong.
It's like
strong
7:30 in the
puns.
morning. I've been awake all night, Jack.
I have
you
no,
cannot expect
I have
anything better from
yeah,
me.
no, I have no response other than wow. Somebody in chat says, "Well done."
What is that? Is that
A bunch of other
cruise
people were like, "Boo!"
ship?
But
What
one
is that?
person was really happy.
on the?
Oh,
on
look,
the-
big boat.
Yeah, what is that boat?
Oh yeah, that's
I'm really glad this boat is coming past the
Now.
time prior to T0 than
Yes.
T0.
I concur.
I
with
feel
that
like
statement.
if there's a boat in that particular area right at T0,
Probably
that
not
boat would
good.
get yelled at.
Yeah. Again, really, really loud horn.
Now I imagine the comedic situation when there's a giant boat in that position and every photographer is like, move away, and the captain is like, what am I supposed to do?
Have you seen that viral video where like some big stadium building is getting explosively demolished and like a camera guy's like all set up with a beautifully framed shot, and then right as like it's like 3 seconds to go, a bus pulls up in front of like between him and the thing and just stops there for the explosion and then drives away, and you can just hear the camera guy like no. Like, yeah, that is a real thing. It's a real thing.
I haven't seen that video in particular, but I have seen so
can't
many
imagine.
train spotting videos of like people going out to see the Flying Scotsman or
Right.
the Mallard,
Right.
and then this Aviva Rail Class 300 just trundles in front and parks at the station, and then it just blocks the entire view. Like the most boring train in the world. Just
Yeah, oh god,
Oh,
you lived
no.
off time. Oh
No.
god, no.
Why
I
did
didn't
you make
mention
it
the time
orange?
this time. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
We
I'll
didn't
take-
even acknowledge it.
I'll take the L on this one. I'd mentioned times within the last like 5 minutes, so I'll take the L. My bad.
Yeah.
So that's
Dude,
gonna
we're
So,
gonna miss the
what's the new
window.
ladies and
T0?
gents,
I can put it
3:15.
at
we
3:15.
Honestly, 40.
we
We're
have
gonna
a
miss
new
the
T0.
freaking window.
And we are now 38-ish minutes and counting
Midnight here.
to, I've lost the
They're getting
fifth
into their
or
last
sixth
hour.
T0 of the night. So
I can give you the whole
3:15
history.
Into the last hour here.
3:15 is 45 minutes left to go in the window, so
those of
that's
you wondering,
less window than the window already
why is it
used.
scrubbing?
Adrian, take it away.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
we
is their
had
first ever
what?
orbital
Give me.
launch.
We had
think,
1, then 130, then 131, 152,
Yeah, you know,
207,
I expect, again, I expect a
227.
decent amount of this.
Then
I
we had the
expect some
current
caution, I
one,
expect some,
and now
some padding,
we
some
have
margin, some grace of,
315.
You know, let's not push
So-
this, let's not risk this. They are not,
yeah,
pretty risk-averse company.
it's
They're not a
moving
company that's just gonna,
constantly at a very
you know, go for it.
reliable
Just,
pace.
Fifi, which would be
I feel
fly
like it's
it.
what we are experiencing here, Ryan.
That's not really their mantra.
And
So,
we are
yeah,
now
I
back
kind
at
of expect
37 minutes.
Some teething pains on this
The
first,
only,
but no big deal again. Remember.
I mean, at this
again,
point,
I've
we have to
quoted
talk
many
about the
times
end of the
SLS,
window, right? Like, they
Vulcan,
have 45 minutes
you know,
left.
Starship,
I think
the first
let's,
many flights of Hopper
Let's
and
assume that we get to
5 and
13
6,
minutes again. They could then push a they could then push another 30 minutes, I believe. That would be 15 minutes left in the window. But yeah, maybe this is this could be our penultimate attempt of the night, assuming that they keep pushing for whatever reason they keep pushing for. Because these are very consistent pushes, right? We've got to like 15 minutes, 13 minutes, 9 minutes,
They are
13 minutes,
working through their
13
checklist.
minutes,
There's
and then
clearly some things that
we're
they wanna
back up to
spend a little
38
bit
minutes
more
to go.
time
So
on,
these they
and
seem to
that
be
is
adding
okay.
half
I
an
will
hour
reiterate.
onto the
We have
T0.
spent years designing.
Pretty
this
much every
rocket.
half hour,
We have spent
right? And so
months and months designing.
Yeah, we had it coming, right?
this
Like
mission,
the whole
building
static
this-
fire
this
taking a
particular
bit
vehicle
longer
as well.
situation,
The-
where
the
it seemed like
design
they
and test that's gone
tried
into
it
the
over and
engines
over
that are
again.
powering this rocket. If
We had this
need
coming.
A couple more minutes, especially on this first launch.
Yeah.
That is okay
I
with us.
I'm
You know,
really
we wanna
looking
give our
forward to
team,
having to stay up till this time of day in 48
right
hours' time.
and the space.
Yeah,
that
that's
they need
the good
to,
question. Like,
you know,
that's actually an
to
interesting
work on
discussion
whatever they
topic. Like,
got
how
going on up
fast
there.
can they recycle?
I also want to, keep in
Like,
mind.
full on
I-
recycle.
My understanding is that the
I
weather
hope it's not
continues
the
to
same
stay
day as Starship.
inbound
I know
here
everyone
at the Cape,
watching would
as well
love
as
this to be
out
the
at
same day
sea.
as Starship. That would be
But
legendary
for
if
the
you're
moment,
watching
we've
this,
decided
but
to
I
put
just
more
have
time
to
on the
say,
clock,
from someone
which
who,
means that we still
produces
have
these
a
streams,
chance, still
hosts
have the
these streams for your
opportunity
enjoyment.
to launch
If
this
they're on the
evening.
same day, I
should say,
don't
I was
know
waiting for
where
it. I
that
know,
sleep
it's
period
pretty
would happen
apropos
because
because this
I
vehicle
would need
says,
one.
so you're
And
telling me there's a
I want to
chance.
quote
That is the
here
name
Mr. Eric
of this
Berger,
booster.
who is known to be
So yes,
quite good
everything
with
is,
rockets,
it's like it was
saying
meant to
if
be
the new
this
Glenn
way.
launch attempt is
Okay,
aborted this
with
morning,
that,
it would
we are
likely
T-minus 35 minutes to
necessitate
go
at
until launch. Let's
48
continue to
hour
check
delay
out
at
new Glenn on the
least.
pad.
And he's also
Continue to
saying the weather
prepare
becomes
for its
poorer
launch
2
to
days
space
from now,
this
and the
evening.
current launch window closes on January
Okay, and
16th,
this,
so
my
this may
friends,
be their
is
only
why
chance
you
for a
watch
bit.
with me.
So,
Because we
just
can
an
fill
input
the
from
time
Eric
by
Berger on
answering
X, I want to
questions
quickly
and
mention
hanging out
here,
and being super positive, even though
because
the timing
in
of
contrast to
the
Ryan,
time
Eric Berger is
day
actually
is
qualified
not
to talk about the
ideal.
weather.
Wow,
Okay.
you're not helping here, Adrian. I'll call Eric
is a great
Berger a
question.
space enthusiast because that's what he called
Tom
me. There you go,
Butcher.
we're even.
This might be a weird question. No, I think it's a great
There we go.
question.
You're even
What is
now.
my
But with
unbiased
that
opinion on the
34
different launch
minutes
companies? What do they do best and what
to
do they do
go
worst?
here.
To be perfectly
in-
honest,
Actually,
the
no, I
countdown.
retract that. I retract that because
think
Harry
they're
in the
all
back channel has
quite
just given me
similar these days. They
a
all
legendary
kind of envelop
word
this
here. I'm going to
sort
call
of
Eric the
they
weather
all
enthusiast.
embrace
You can call
those
me the
that
space
work.
enthusiast
Kind of a
if I can
casual
call
approach
Eric
to
the weather
a
enthusiast.
work environment.
I feel like I'm like
I will
witness
say
of
that
a
having
match here
toured a
right
lot
now
of them,
that
they all,
I'm.
you see people just wearing t-shirts.
I don't
and
want to be part
jeans,
of.
and
Anyway,
it's very casual and it's very,
the rocket is still
hang-outy and
looking
friendly and
wonderful.
fun.
The good thing is
I will
it's
say
not
that
looking
I
any
think some of
less
the
good,
SpaceX
right?
Let's say something they do good and bad.
It's still looking a
good,
little
they
bit
push
fluffy.
boundaries
It's
and
looking
set
textured.
records and-
as
Is
I
it
like
really
to
the
keep
weather? Because I
saying.
don't
It's
know what's been
venting.
causing
Bad
all the
is
It
good,
looks
delays.
but people
happy.
work really hard
It
to do
looks-
that. And I don't
My
think
SD
You know,
card is still
there are
being
there are
baked.
much more
it can
worse
be a bit
ways
much,
for
and
rockets
I know
to
a lot of
look.
people that do get burned
You
out
know,
with SpaceX.
the
And that's okay.
rockets
You know,
could
it's not for
be
everybody.
tumbling through the sky.
Burned.
Work-life
Rockets
balance
could
can
be,
very hard.
you know, maybe
Blue
have their
Origin, on the other
FTS
hand,
going,
I think is
but it doesn't
kind of
actually
the opposite
destroy
end of that.
the vehicle. Where have we
wish
seen that
that they
before? I
kind
don't
of
know.
would push
Vehicles
harder
could be, I don't know,
and, you know, more
showering
sleepless nights
solid
sometimes
propellant
to
all
get
over
what
the
feels
Cape
like a
Canaveral Air
complete
Force
project
Station like a
done
certain
sooner, but
Delta did.
At the end of the day, I think a lot
Rockets
of the
could
employees are
be,
quite
I don't know,
happy.
destroying concrete.
They
But
have
this
a-
rocket is
from
very
a lot of people
peaceful,
that
very
I know
calm,
or have
very
talked to or heard
stationary,
of,
A
very,
bit too
very
peaceful, a
happy.
bit too
balance.
calm, and a bit too stationary
but I
for my
think
taste,
that-
I have to say.
Those things aside, I can't.
Dare I
necessarily
say
speak
it's
directly to those
looking
because I've
rather
never worked with
sanguine?
these companies.
Yeah.
But what I
Look
can
at the
say
layers
is
of
I
ice
think
on
they're all
this.
pretty,
Beautiful.
Concepts, and
It's getting more.
it's
Yeah, it really is increasing. It reminds me a little bit of
similar things
the wet dress we saw the other day here in
we're
Starbase,
just talking unbiased.
where the entire vehicle
But I
stayed
am a
frosty
biased
for like
person, so
hours just
keep
because
that
it
in
was so
mind.
cold.
And here's another
So
thing.
cold
I'm
outside.
just gonna say this. This is a little thing that I say often.
Very frosty.
A
Ooh,
lot of
we have a shot
people
from Max.
adopt,
Nice.
there's a
There's
few
those
things
pesky
like
clouds we
the
were talking
tribal
about.
tendencies of
Yeah, they're coming
you know,
in.
human natures, like tribalism of like I like
And
this,
again,
therefore I don't like this.
we are still
I try
lacking,
really
and that's
hard
what I
to
don't like
fight
here.
that
We are
bias,
still
to say,
lacking
I like this.
proper
I'm just waiting for
wording
my
on-
SD
Yeah.
card to be burned.
There's
And
nuances
Why?
to life. There's a gray area.
what's
and
going
the
on?
more
happening
you
right now?
Explore that gray area.
That's
between
I'm
good and
I'm
bad,
trying my
like
best
and
here
dislike,
to be
delicious.
I don't
and
think it's the
disgusting.
clouds.
The
very
more you,
explicit
just
in how we
pushing-
approach
spend
this,
time in that
and
middle
very
As much as they
excited and
can.
very
Appreciate some
supportive
finer
of
details.
Blue's mission
Until the
and
window ends.
their
I honestly
efforts with
find
New Glenn
myself
tonight.
really enjoying seeing what
And
other
I
companies do.
can't say
on
enough
just
for
the slightest
everybody
little
that's
bit
been
Dude, I
working
think
their
that
butts off
T0 is
to
just
get this
a
rocket
long
off the
example that I
ground.
went
My
to.
heart
T0
goes
is
out to them. I'm
just
sure
to keep us
a
still
launch campaign
here
like this,
watching.
you know, first time around,
I
it's
visited
Instead of
got
clicking
to be
off or
taxing
something.
for the workforce.
And I visited
So
East
all
Side
that said,
Aerospace, only about an hour and a half away, both in Germany.
I would
some
really
of the
love some
ideas
better
they
comms
had
on what's going
were-
Dude,
on.
I gotta spend all day
it-
tomorrow
it-
doing
it-
homework.
It's a little bit frustrating, you know, if
These
I'm being
little-
perfectly honest.
Little ideas, and
Yeah,
you couldn't have had
I would
two
love to have
more
like an
different
understanding
companies
what
than
is
those two, and they
happening.
were only an hour and a half apart.
Yep.
This is
And
Blue
I
Origin Launch
love
Control.
that. I think that is so
T
cool.
minus
I think that is so satisfying.
31 and a bit minutes. Vehicle
yeah.
frosty. This
I'll
is
turn my
Blue
audio
Origin
up a
Launch
little
Control.
bit. I am getting quieter and quieter because it is
Correct.
getting late in this hotel.
Thanks,
and
Daryl.
I
Okay,
don't
2
want
hours
to
ago.
upset the neighbors
Daryl
too much,
Cake.
and my throat's getting
Or
tired.
Ryan
So
Nail.
I'm going
What was that?
I think Daryl
Bring the mic
Caton
a
has a
little bit
better,
closer.
Yeah, that's better ring to
Yeah,
it.
they are
Yeah,
talking
thank
about more
you.
stuff now.
Glad you
Let's
agree.
listen for a
People
second.
like this.
You know what has a
also
ring
has
to
a ring
it?
on
Blue
it?
ring. Oh, yes.
At
I
our
love you,
vision
buddy.
and
Go ahead,
mission
go. You
at
do it.
Blue
Go
Origin.
ahead, do it.
You know,
The
as we said,
payload fairing
time
of
and
New Glenn because
gonna
there's a
talk
ring
about that
in
kind of
it,
stuff.
a blue ring. Because
Ooh,
we are
Kitty
still
Donahue
standing by
is
for that
55
launch
months.
of New Glenn here, 30 minutes from now. Hopefully, they are approaching a bit the tight end of the
See,
window
these
here.
are
Their
these
3
footage
hour
on
window.
top.
Adrian, they've got
Those are the new
45
Shepard
minutes
launches.
left
These are the
Beyond
suborbital
this
ones.
Yeah.
T0. That's plenty of room. That's like,
I
that's
think
so much room.
I think
Oh, I think we're
realistically we are
behind.
getting 2 more maximum pushes. I think
At least some fire under this thing in a good way. Skull Kid Ray is asking, what is the Blue Ring Pathfinder? Is it a mass simulator or a satellite? Also, I love the way that they spelled satellite. Go ahead.
it's a Pathfinder that consists of a communications array, a power system, and a flight computer
minute.
that is affixed to their secondary payload adapter. And basically, it's like a Pathfinder of their. I think they call it an end-to-end satellite platform, which basically means here's a computer equipped with
Dude,
with
one thing
kind
I
of
don't want
everything
to
you
happen
need to
is
operate in
that
space. Just upload what you need to it, and we will
I'm
launch it.
worried I might have killed the board with
There you
my
go.
static electricity from my fingers. That could have happened.
Just a Viking asking, how far away from the launch site will the barge be? How far is it for Falcon 9? It varies for Falcon 9. Sometimes there's been ones, up to like 1,200 kilometers. If I'm not wrong, Ryan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, please.
I think
Jacqueline will be about 620 kilometers.
Yeah,
offshore.
so Jacqueline will be 620 kilometers. You're correct. 1200 is the kind of the maximum range that we've seen so far with Falcon Heavy, I believe. But I think it should also be noted we've never actually had a successful Falcon Heavy recovery. I believe they've landed successfully once, the center core, but it did not make it back to port, and I'll leave it at that. So this range for New Glenn is the kind of standard Falcon 9 range that we see on Starlink missions.
Plug in
They're
the mouse and
they're the
keyboard
de
on
facto
this?
standard, bog standard space launch missions these days. The Starlink missions, they happen every other day. So it's this range is something we've seen before, just not with a vehicle of this, not with a booster of this size.
Yeah,
And
so
might I add,
please.
sorry, there goes my voice. Might I add too, though, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes them in the process with Jacqueline to secure and then start coming back, and
It's a
how long
beautiful
that
board.
takes for them, because I don't know how many people they maybe have on their crew that came from a reusability background, but
Right.
as far as this crew goes, they're very green, so they.
Yeah, that
Uh-oh, both are lagging right now. Huh. Also, I don't have control anymore.
makes sense. And I think it's fair to say that however long it takes this
It's
first
almost
time,
been
should
an
they
hour that I've sat
actually
here waiting
successfully
for nothing.
land, they'll go faster over time. You know, they'll optimize, they'll get more comfortable, they'll make it safer to approach the ship sooner, things like that. So they'll figure it out. I have faith. Some cool shots of the landing vessel headed out to sea there, and now some cool shots of mission control. Neat.
Absolutely. It looks neat. I love the blue ambi lights.
Yeah, they're sick. Do you think they do that thing where they're like, activated by a screen or whatever? Like when they get to launch, they all turn red and do like red orange flickering like flame or something. That would be sick.
Oh, or they pulse their polling station turned into their color they are.
That'd be sick.
yes.
That would be so
Y'all just
sick.
give me like the coolest idea ever. Next static fire, for the next rocket. Maybe I will post outside of Blue Manufacturing and watch that happen, because fun fact, you can see mission control and launch control probably in some of our pictures of flyover. So
That's
it
cool.
is something I could watch for. Haha.
I don't know if that'd be like going over the line, but it'd be cool.
I'm
It'd be
not
cool. It'd be a
talking
cool
about
view.
zoom-in cameras, Jack.
No, but
I'm
I
talking
am.
about.
But I am. No, I get it.
You're dangerous.
I am, but that's why you like me, right?
Absolutely.
Also, that's why I wear orange. Everybody knows where I am at all times. They just look for orange. They're like, oh, he's over there. We're good. What? D?
Hi, D.
Hi, D.
Hi, D.
D appears flummoxed? Why is D flummoxed?
Maybe they just don't know what's happening anymore, like us. We're just sitting here looking at the clock tick down, and then magically 30 more minutes appear.
It's possible. I'm going to thank some people while we wait to get under 20 minutes again.
What's that red flashing light, by the way? Sorry, but we were undershot.
Which red flashing
Red.
light?
On the left side, there's like a bing, 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 bing.
Oh, I
Red
don't know.
flashing light.
It's a good question. I see that. Huh. I'm going to thank some people. Josh Zero, thank you for the super chat. Chris, thanks for the store purchase. Anonymous, thank you for the store purchase. Amol Topo, thank you for the super chat. Gerald, thanks for becoming a Padrat member. Mr. G, thank you. Green Bean, asking, how do you cook your steak? What sides do you make? I generally go medium rare, and I'm a big fan of mashed or baked potato, plus also maybe like some asparagus or maybe like some Brussels sprouts, like some baked Brussels
I
sprouts.
love how
That'd be good.
he's taking this
Adrian, how do you
question
cook your steak?
so seriously.
Medium rare.
Nice. Ryan, steak?
I'm not
Maybe
going to go
medium-
crazy because we are
medium to medium
potentially
rare.
24 minutes away from launch. But Brussels sprouts and steak?
Yeah, yum.
How could you disgrace
That's
such
a
meal
good combination.
with Brussels sprouts.
They're
Also,
delicious.
both go good with salsa hollandaise.
All right, we've already. I regret even asking. Moving. Let's continue thanking people. Kevin, thank you for grabbing some stuff from the store. They say more excited
They're
for
just
Flight
pushing
7
for
by
the
far than New
freaking
Glenn,
window.
especially if they keep delaying the launch by 30
Okay,
minutes. I'm
we
like, bro,
we
it's a new
finally
rocket.
have a
Like, do you not
finished
remember when
SD
Starship
card.
was doing the low altitude hops and it would be like a 2-day scrub or what have? Like, this is par for the course.
Or these several spin prime and static fire attempts that have scrubbed over time, and then they open the road, and
Oh my
cars go
God.
to the pad.
Kevin, do you have the
we have the SD
song?
card.
Spin prime,
No,
spin prime,
don't-
spin prime,
don't,
static fire,
no,
static
no.
fire, static fire, spin prime.
But I'm just saying,
We're gonna insert
everybody
it.
that is right, like, oh, Starship just works. Well, Starship had plenty of testing delays.
It
The amount
sure
of times
did.
we have seen the good old message of cars to the pad
All right, this is ready.
is plenty.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And that's why we've tried ad nauseum on this stream to illustrate that this is a new rocket and this is par for the course. I'm not more excited for Starship or New Glenn. I'm just excited for both. I wish there was a third gigantic rocket from another company. I wish SLS had its act together and was going to launch with any kind of reasonable cadence that wasn't like once every 2-ish plus years. Like, the more payload we can get into space, the more cool things we can do in space. So
I still
you know.
want my dream payload is a how fast can we go payload. Now that we have these 100-ton capability vehicles coming up soon, I just want a yeet payload. I want like the 100 tons to be spent on
Yeah.
a small
Yeah.
probe that we just yeet.
It's a CubeSat. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a CubeSat on a Starship or on New Glenn, and it's
Yep.
got like a Star 48 kick stage on top of a Star 48 kick stage. Like, it
Yep,
just
it's
go
like-
full Kerbal with it. I'm here for that.
Yeah, just like, let's see how fast we really can go.
Speaking of going fast, we got the video on screen there showing a render from Blue of the launch and landing. It's almost like a tease at this point. Like, come on, please. I hope we get to see this tonight. I hope they show us some onboard views so we can see this render become a reality in the same way
All right, here we
that
go.
so many times here in
I'll power it
Starbase
on
we've
right
seen
here.
renders become reality. And that is why we're all up at insane o'clock and still super excited for this launch, hopefully tonight, because, you know, it's about these science fiction moments that
Right,
seem
3,
far-fetched and not
1,
even possible,
go.
actually coming
Green
to
light
pass
is on.
in
It's
real
supposed to
life.
be booting up right now. It says no
Please.
I do
signal
have
on
to
the monitor.
compliment Blue. Their smoke animation is
Quite good.
really good.
Quite good. A lot of render time on those fluid dynamics
We got no
equations.
I mean, they've been
This is
building this
bad.
rocket for a long time. They've had plenty of time to simulate their smoke.
That's fair.
How the hell can we not get a signal from?
I mean, it's
the board.
only in full production like 3 or 4 years, right? Before that, it was an R&D concept.
I
Makes
don't even.
sense. See,
I don't
DisplayPort
even know where to
shows
go with
up
that.
on the
You can
monitor,
see-
but there's no image.
See, this is tantalizing. It could be a whole stack of Kuiper satellites, or it could be a moonlander, or it could be a payload.
Blue Moon looks so small compared to the second stage. I mean,
Why?
It does.
Blue Moon is a big lander. It's like huge compared to the Apollo lander. But New Glenn is so big. You put anything in that fairing, it looks tiny.
true.
It's so funny.
The Kuiper satellites look sexy.
They do, and I
I really
wonder
kill
how
this thing?
realistic that animation is. Like, will a New Glenn
Yeah.
carry? I don't know. I didn't count them. However many satellites that was, look like 20 or 30 or maybe more. Like, hopefully, they're gonna need to launch. They're gonna
Yes.
need to launch a lot of Kuipers in a short period of time. Are they not, Adrian? Because there's like a whole thing for their license for the bandwidth that those satellites use from the FCC. It says they have to have half their constellation up by what, next year?
Yeah, and to be fair, there's another rocket in the playing field here that also has problems getting to cadence, and here comes the European, is Ariane 6, which is also contracted to launch a lot of Kuiper satellites. So it's not only a new
Really
Glenn to
did
do
not
that,
count
it's
for
also
the
on
possibility
Ariane
that
6
this
and
port could
also
not
on
boot up.
Atlas
I mean,
5. Of which
produce an
probably
image
the one
through
rocket I'm
DisplayPort.
least worried about cadence right now is Atlas 5, because it's actually a
It's the only
well-proven and
DisplayPort
produced rocket.
cable
Right.
that I have.
There's also
and this is
Vulcan
only
in the mix because I
DisplayPort
think
monitor
there's
that I have.
30-ish odd satellite launches for Kuiper on Vulcan, and
Oh, true.
Vulcan had its observation, and I think, in June or whenever the conference was, Tori Bruno said that they wanted to launch a couple times before the end of 2024, and we're now on the 13th of January 2025, and they haven't launched since. So Vulcan is also another vehicle in the mix there.
Yep, good point. Fluxline, thanks for becoming a Capcom member. Jump into the Discord and say hey, and enjoy all the other sweet perks that you get at Capcom level of the membership program. Daimez, thank you for the support. They say tired NSF is the best NSF. Been waiting another 30 minutes since SN4. Oh goodness, Ryan. I dare not say it, but the time has done the thing where it's less than the allotted amount of time. So give us a bit of a weather update.
You wouldn't dare say a number, Jack. You wouldn't dare say a number. But here you go. The clouds do look thinner, which is better than thick clouds, but there are clouds, which isn't great. But fingers crossed the clouds coming in here across from, Tampa, Orlando, moving across to Cape Canaveral. Hopefully they act more as like an ND filter, which is effectively like sunglasses over the lens, rather than, blocking out all the light. Because maybe if the clouds are the right thickness, just the right density, we might be able to see some muck diamonds of the BE4s. Maybe, I don't know. It's just a wish at this point. But yeah, clouds are coming, but there's nothing we can do to stop them. So we're just going to have to make do.
It's another fail
unfortunately.
on the board.
And to be fair, the launch weather forecast from the 45th said that data violation, and that one was a thick cloud layer rule. But
Great.
I maybe it's just me, and to be fair, we have to speculate here because we don't have the answer. It doesn't feel to me like this is a weather delay.
And it's
Yeah,
not.
I would
I don't
tend
think
to
so.
agree with that. We don't know, to be clear. We're speculating wildly at who knows o'clock, but that I would tend to agree that. Especially since for some of the T0s earlier in the night, that cloud layer had dissipated. It was nice and clear.
Yep, absolutely. They have officially also said that there is a small problem they're working on.
Oh, a small problem. Well, that's good. It's not a big problem. It's a small one.
No.
Yeah.
That's,
But I mean, this is a big rocket, so is this a small problem because it's small, or a small problem because the rocket's big and relatively it's small?
that's a very good
So you're saying
question.
if you make your rocket big enough, every problem is small?
Or every problem is big.
Maybe.
I think
And
yeah, go ahead.
I will also cross that bridge here about talking about tomorrow's weather and the weather going forward, because it's not looking too fancy. Tomorrow, for example, on the 24-hour delay, which we don't expect them to make, the trend goes to 60% chance of violation, with cumulus clouds, thick cloud layers, and liftoff winds being an issue. And the weather in general doesn't improve during the week. So 48-hour recycle, probably looking not too fancy.
Yikes. Yeah, what cosmic entity rolled the dice over and over again and just got like several nat 20s and is like, okay, yep, Starship and New Glenn are both going to be launching in the same week. Actually, it's within 48 hours. Actually, they're both slipping. Actually, they're slipping to the same day. Actually, they're slipping to the same day again. Like, how is this happening? How is this the timeline that is real life?
Yeah, like, it's crazy that we are talking about like the two of the biggest rockets humans have ever created, and they just happen to be so close to each other. Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Fingers crossed that New Glenn can get off the ground tonight, because then maybe we can get Max and D over here to Starbase for Flight 7. Fingers crossed. And also, we can see and learn so much tonight if they can pull this off. We got what? An hour left in the window?
Still an hour left?
Yep.
That's a long time.
An hour left.
45 minutes from this T0, 59 minutes from now.
Thank you.
I don't want to say it, but I will take one for the team. Maybe, just maybe, Blue can get this big rocket off the pad in just under 14 minutes' time.
Fingers crossed. I mean, despite the repeated, pushes late into the count, I'm still getting sort of adrenaline rush and antsy again as they see that clock tick down, and I'm excited because I want to see those 7 BE4s light up. Let's do this, please, pretty please.
Absolutely.
And, just once again, it's a brand new rocket. So it'll go when it goes, and we're all here hanging out and answering your questions, having a good time in the meantime. So do not fret.
Absolutely.
KC with a super... What's up?
Ignore me. I saw the clock disappear and it returned.
Oh,
so
good.
maybe nothing actually happened. But for a moment there, I thought we were going to have to show up that little awaiting a new T0, but it returned. So I apologise for doing an Alex butt-in, but there's nothing to butt in about anymore.
Good. All right. T-minus 12 and counting. Please, let's do this. I know we all want to see this thing launch so dang bad.
What?
Oh, that's bad.
That's...
Are we launching now?
We're done for today.
I hope.
What's the clock in the press center say? I'm just curious.
So the clock disappeared, reappeared at the same time, then teleported in time to T0 and then disappeared again.
My friends.
So I'm...
Craig, thank you for...
We're not going to report anything until we have official word from Blue. We're just reporting right now what we're seeing happen in front of us,
like a gear
per
rundown
what
and
they
how
are
and
giving
why.
us.
I'm slowly
This is bad.
rolling
They
the
are
first letter
not
of
we're
the
not
word
going
in
today.
here, like just an S here into the room.
Yeah, like there's a large wall, like a building-sized wall of like, vehicle-sized letters, and you're sort of just flying around in a jetpack, and you can tap a letter and it'll light up. And so you've just tapped
Tap the S.
Yeah, you've tapped the S. That's good to know.
I wonder if the rocket just got really the name, because I don't want to set off everyone's smart home assistants, but the smart home assistant produced by Amazon, maybe she is in charge of New Glen's flight
there's
computer
one
and was like, let's go!
concurrent viewer.
Everything
Can you
in
tell we've
me
been on
right
air
now
for a few
needs
hours?
to
I think our
resist
stream
the
just went
urge
down
to
for a
say the
second,
name of the
but-
home assistant. Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Please don't.
But no,
it's my friend
It's too
here.
late because otherwise,
506 from Redbook
clock
just joined.
here is
Hello.
still ticking.
Okay, the
No,
clock.
this is a different time. So the clock at the Kennedy Space Center, this is the KSC clock. This is the big clock, the big famous clock everyone stands in front of at the press site, right? This is now added, what is that, 14, 15 minutes onto the time? So the clock on, the official clock from Blue Origin disappeared at T-minus 12-ish minutes, right? And it's now reappeared at the Kennedy Space Center at 24 minutes to go. So perhaps they're going for another window? I'm not sure, because they only had 45-ish minutes left.
I'm seeing some reports on social media that lead me to ask Adrian to hit the U light on the giant wall.
No, actually, we are still at the C, I think. Right?
Okay. Yeah, that's right. No, yeah, we're still at the C. Thank you.
Yeah, C, maybe R.
I don't think...
Yeah, thanks.
don't know
I
what's
jumped
going
the gun. Okay, it's 2
we're not
a.m.
at... Yeah, not yet you.
Or
We are
friends who
we're
have
getting
just
there.
come in.
NASA spaceflight in chat, whoever that is saying scrub.
Tonight we were here to see this magnificent launch of this
I see
new
various
vehicle,
space
but
reporters
we've
on,
since
yeah,
faced
saying
at least four delays. Now the fifth delay to the T0 countdown, and the official clock has went down. Don't know what's happening right now, but if you can see on the bottom left, a right corner here, at the blue sign, that's another clock that is still...
But they are the ones to confirm this.
I think we have a
How
scrub.
many letters do we have lit up right now, Adrian?
We are at you.
Community isn't aligning, and I feel like there's infighting and we're all just getting down each other's throats, and when I feel like I'm not being understood.
I think we might have a scrub because we're venting aggressively here on the vehicle.
And thank you. They say someone needs to go to sleep so that it launches. That's the rule. Everything happens.
Or not. That's just normal venting. Okay. Just condensations. I don't know. The official clock has went down. So we were supposed to have a countdown here on the top right corner of the feed. Now it's gone. We're still...
Groundhog's Day GIFs that didn't exist on the various GIF apps way back when SpaceX was trying to do the 150 meter hop with Star Hopper.
Seeing what's
because
happening.
Being in Boca, staying in Boca,
still listening to any news, any updates.
Living that life for a couple weeks in a row, you definitely start to feel like Groundhog's Day. So,
I feel like the flare stacks have increased in activity.
That's noteworthy.
Flare stack
noteworthy as in, it's a change of instance or like a change of situation, and
flare stack
there's only
refers
one
to the
path right
kind of
now
flame
where
on
a situation could change.
bottom right.
Because we know it's not like that's not the pattern when it shows during launching. It also feels like there's more vents now picking up from the rocket.
Yeah.
I think again, it's Blue's call to make, but I almost like I have the hand at the B.
Yeah, you have jetpacked over to the B, and you're sort of just hovering there, waiting.
It's funny that I'm
It's
literally
like
on
I'm
the
angrily
website
looking at
for
them.
something called Jetpack. It's not related.
Space Beagle, thanks for the coffee money. Baymax, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. I say it every time. Pop into the Discord. You have Discord access now. Our Discord rules. It's a really great place to hang out and chill.
I just
and
don't
talk
think we're
rockets or
having this
food
launch
or
tonight.
games or whatever you're into. Pets, making stuff with 3D printers. The Discord rules. Plus, you get a whole bunch of other perks as well. Big vent from the vehicle. Huh. Well, now's the part where we wait and see what's going on. What is going on? Please tell us, Blue. Please.
It's Jack. I can report the vehicle is venting.
Thank you, Ryan. Is the sun up?
It is where I am.
Oh, here we go. Tweet from Blue. Scrub official. Adrian, light up the B.
I'm lighting up the B. I think we can also change the top. Yep, there it is. There's the big red letters.
So I just sat
Blue,
here.
Blue's X post says, we're standing down on today's launch attempt to
Alright,
troubleshoot a
I'm
vehicle
gonna unmute
subsystem
both
issue
streams
that
so
will
you
take
can
us
hear the
beyond our launch
disappointments.
attempt,
For a few more
reviewing
minutes,
opportunities
and
for
this
our
other team,
next
the
launch
camera turns and all of a
attempt.
sudden this other
Y'all,
team
it's a brand new
in
rocket.
the pits, and they're like
This is how these things
getting
go.
one of their tires
No
out.
shade
Yeah,
on
we
that
have
whatsoever.
an
This is
official
just
scrub.
the
We
way
just
it
sat here
happens.
for
It's
like
literally rocket
an hour and
science.
17 minutes,
So,
18 minutes for nothing.
Yeah, if
Thing.
you,
Let's listen in.
if you're frustrated at all,
Update from Mission
maybe
Control. We are
go back and
standing
watch some
down
of our
today's
early
launch attempt
Starbase.
to troubleshoot a vehicle subsystem issue that will take us beyond our launch window. We are reviewing opportunities for our next launch attempt.
All right.
So we've scrubbed today's NG1 mission to give the team more time to work that issue, and we're reviewing what other things that we might need to get done in that period.
treat.
When we know when the next opportunity is, of course, we will let everybody know. Now, to give the viewers a sense of what happens next, the launch team is now working to detank and safe the vehicle.
So,
From there,
guys,
we're going to
we have
assess,
officially scrubbed today's
as
launch,
mentioned,
meaning that
what
we're
other things we
standing
might want
down
to get done in our downtime,
from today's attempt
and
and
that is what's going to guide when the next
waiting for a
next
new launch
will be.
opportunity. That's not going to be tomorrow.
Follow us on social media.
Not going to be
That's
the
the
day
way to
after.
stay
I
up
don't
to
know
date
when
on
it's going to be.
announcements for that next
Weather's not
launch
looking
attempt.
good.
We do want to thank you for joining us. We can't wait to get right back here for our next
it's a
launch
good ride.
attempt. Stay tuned. Gradatum Ferociter.
All right. That's it.
Okay, there it is, my friends. Kind of expected that, to be honest. again, of course, better safe than sorry. This isn't an entertainment thing, although for
About
us it
expectations.
is. The important thing is
This
the vehicle safe.
is a
the teams are hopefully
complicated
working
thing.
the issue.
This is better than the rocket
And
exploding. This is better
perhaps
than
most important for me,
not
I can
having
get some sleep.
everything figured out
And we
pressing
expect
the launch button.
probably.
I do
so
remember you,
I feel like
resulting
very safe
in
that we can
some,
say this. There's a very, very
severe
high chance they won't
consequences.
be launched tomorrow.
At the end of the day, as long as the rocket's still standing up, it's a win.
Or
So-
wake up and
they don't
go
have
do
infinite
things.
commodities. They
Where
need
we
All
to
right,
refill
thanks
those
very
tanks
much.
at
Tune
the tank
in.
farm.
I'll see you next time.
This is a big rocket, and
I
they've been
don't
replenishing
know
this
why
thing for the
Escapade was
past 3-4
rescheduled, but thank you
hours,
so
so they're
much for your
definitely going to need
support.
some new commodities in
I
there.
missed a lot of super chats,
And
guys.
you know,
You
48
guys are
hours from
amazing,
today is going to be Wednesday morning, and
I'm gonna go to
Starship
bed.
is
I'm gonna call
scheduled
it a
for
night.
Wednesday afternoon.
I'm sorry if I
Right,
missed.
and in
And
2 days there's going to be a
really,
Starship
you know,
launch, so
As
stay
a
tuned for
viewer,
that. I
I'm
might
sure
stream
you will
that.
be elated.
But I love
as
you guys, and I
an
appreciate
That launch is
organisation
going to be the
which
best launch ever.
tries our
If I do
best
this
to bring
again,
you these
it
events
might be from
live.
right here in this hotel,
We're going to do our
depending on when
best,
it
but boy, it
reschedules.
would
And that's
be,
gonna be
our
in
job
2
would be
days.
so much
Find
more
out,
easy
so-
if these things were more separated.
everybody.
All right.
But you know,
So,
sometimes
from
this
Don,
is
do you have any
this is how they
I'll
come.
I'll
And
sign
there
off
is
for now. I'm
absolutely
Videon. Thanks for
no
tuning